Y'all, I need to vent. That's one thing I love about vlogging. Like, I can get stuff off of my mind and out into the universe and just let it go. But let me tell y'all how my neighbor downstairs had me messed up bright and early this morning like orange juice.
Santa Claus, go.
So at like 6:30 this morning, I'm just getting to sleep, like just really going to sleep. I think I went to sleep at like 5. So I'm like fresh into sleep, probably not even in REM sleep right now. I get waking up by somebody banging on the door. So I'm like, who is this? So like immediately, like I got nervous because first of all, I thought it was my ex. And then I was like, I don't want these issues. And I had a visitor over still. Like, I'm not trying to have that drama this morning. So I got up, tiptoed to the door or whatever, and looked out the window to see who was out there. And, you know, I saw somebody going downstairs, like they were walking away. So I was like, okay, well, it was just probably somebody that just wanted something or whatever. They're going to go, do something else. And then I was thinking, like, I know they're paving the roads in my neighborhood, so maybe it's one of the construction workers or one of the guys working on the road telling us to move our cars. Which I'll get to that part a little bit later. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, you know, they'll just, you know, do what they got to do around it and then whatever. So I saw him, you know, walking downstairs. So I go get back in the bed. Literally not even 10 minutes later, I'm like sleep again because like I said, I'm just going to sleep. Like I'm sleepy at this point. I get back in the bed, 10 minutes later, I hear somebody banging on the door again. So I'm thinking like, what they want? Like they want us to actually really move our car now. So I open the door. And it's my neighbor from downstairs, and I'm like, what do you want, bro? Like, first of all, you're banging on my door like you're the police. Like, he's like banging on my door like it was so loud. So I'm already irritated once I realize that it's him, because my roommate had already told me that he did the same thing another morning. He came over one morning like a couple of weeks ago. My roommate was washing clothes. It was like 6 o'clock, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning. He was washing clothes, so the dude came upstairs, knocked on the door, and was like, "Are you washing clothes?" So my roommate automatically was like, "Oh, you know, the washing machine must be leaking into the apartment downstairs." So he was like, "Yeah," or whatever. So then the dude was like, "Well, can you do this at a more appropriate time? Like, y'all waking us up with the washing machine." Like, first of all, anytime that I decide to wash clothes is an appropriate time, like in an apartment where I pay the bills. So don't be knocking on my door trying to tell me what to do in my apartment. Like, what? All you had to do was come up there and say, or even the next time you saw us leaving the apartment, "Hey, you know, your washing machine's a little loud. It kind of wakes us up." Me and my roommate, like, we're both really nice, approachable, understanding people. So, like, you know, we would have just been like, okay, like, cool, you know, I'll be a little bit more considerate. But you coming up there trying to put all this bass in your voice like you're going to do something, like you trying to intimidate somebody or, like, puff up your ego thinking that you defending your girl or whatever, like, that you can miss me with. Like, don't approach me ever like that, like, because I'm you know, it's not gonna be a pleasant conversation. Like, I'm never gonna be rude or like I don't believe in fighting or whatever, but like, just don't approach me like that. That's not how you handle me. So, you know, when I saw him at the door, I was just like, what do he want? Like, so he goes on to say, you know, I spoke with the other guy one time before, you know, I haven't spoke with you yet, but could y'all just be a little bit more quiet up here? And he got like he tried to get bass in his voice talking to me, like, my girlfriend had to get up at 3 o'clock this morning and go to Walmart because y'all was up here laughing and stuff and woke her up. And I was just like, first of all, that wasn't us, because the neighbors beside us were entertaining people last night. They had people over, and they were loud. They were very loud, like until like 3, 4 o'clock this morning. So if your girlfriend was woken up, she was woken up by them. She was like, we didn't have anything to do with that, because both me and my roommate were preoccupied at the time. Like, we both had our situations going on at that time. Like, it was no laughing or whatever. Like, it was date night. So, like, it definitely wasn't us. So first of all, you're approaching us about something that we didn't even do. Then you want to get this bass in your voice talking like you gonna do something. Like, you got me messed up. So the whole time I'm looking at him like, who are you talking to? My face like tells it all. Like, and I'm already mad because it's like 6:30 in the morning. Like I said, I just went to sleep. Usually I would have had a little bit more tact, but again, I was so sleepy at that time, and like you waking me up, banging on my door like you the police. Like, no. I don't have no patience for you right now. So then I let him know. I was like, no, that wasn't us. They were having a party last night, you know, or whatever. He was like, well, I'll talk to them too, but you know, you guys, I talked to him about the washing machine, but it's been several times where we've been waking up by the sound of somebody walking or like somebody stomping. We live in like some old apartments. Like, these apartments had to have been built in the 70s and been renovated. The sound barriers are not good at all. So if we're walking, and our floor creaks really bad. So if we're walking at any point, you're gonna hear something. Oh, those are sounds of people living. That's living noises, like people walking around, talking, carrying conversation. It's not by any means intentional to wake you up, but again, we live in old apartments and the sound barrier is just not that great. Like, if you listen hard enough, you can hear somebody's whole conversation, and we do take that into consideration because me and my roommate have never thrown a party, or we're never going to. We have guests over, but when our guests are over, they're not loud, and they're not over at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Like, our guests usually leave around 12:30 or like 1 at the latest. So like, any noise that you hear is living noise. Like, we're not entertaining at that time. But what you're not gonna do is tell me what to do in my apartment where I pay bills. Like, that's what you're not gonna do. And it's all about your approach. You didn't come at me the right way at all. So it just had me mad. So I told him, I was like, at the end of the day, if you had a problem with something, you need to address it as it's going on. Because had you came up here last night, you would have heard that those noises weren't coming from our apartment. They were coming from the apartment next to us. You want to complain about somebody walking, like, and saying, oh, you don't want to get the police involved. What the police gonna do? How about this? If you got a problem with the noise that we're making in our apartment, then come soundproof our apartment. So then he talking, and all I could think about was, our apartment always smell like weed. Like, the smell of marijuana smoke is always in our apartment because somebody in your apartment is smoking. He's almost like, no, we don't smoke. It gotta be you, because the neighbors to our left just moved in and they have a baby, so I know they're not smoking. There's nobody that lives below them. The girl that had the little get together last night, she just moved in. We've been smelling the smoke since we moved in. And the girl downstairs that lives below the girl that just moved in is never home. So who else? We don't smoke. Get out. Like, so then he was like, no, we don't smoke. I was like, well, at the end of the day, this is what you deal with whenever you're living in a multifamily community, when you're living in apartments. Like, these are things that you deal with. You're gonna hear people living. You're not going to always have perfect sound barriers where you don't hear anything from your neighbors. Like, people are gonna be entertaining guests. People are gonna be walking around. People are gonna be carrying out their life as they see fit. You don't know anybody's hours. So if I wash clothes at 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe that's the 5 or 6 o'clock, or shit, even 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe that's the only hour that I can wash clothes, and I'm gonna do exactly what I see fit. Like, I'm not about to be intimidated into doing something. Like, you're gonna hear noises from people's appliances. You're gonna hear people's blenders. Like, blenders can be really loud. My dang on Magic Bullet is loud. The washing machine, dryer can be loud. Like, you're gonna hear people's appliances. Like, this is stuff that you deal with, and at the end of the day, you don't pay no bills here. So what you gonna do? And I'm thinking at the end of the day, like, I mean, get the police. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, you're complaining about somebody walking around and the noises that they make in their apartment, but Again, me and my roommate are never loud, like at all. Just get out my face. So he started talking. I was like, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm trying to go back to sleep. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You're gonna have to do what you gotta do. Like, I'm not about to sit here and have this conversation with you because you're not gonna like what I say. So I just kind of dismissed him. Like, I don't care right now. Like, I'm sleepy. So then he was like, all right, what's your name? I was like, Brian. He was like, oh, my name is Xavier. I shook his hand. Bye. Like, we don't have to do this because the things that you're complaining about is so trivial and so stupid, and like at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with my life. Like, so it sounds like a personal problem. And don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, I am gonna take that into consideration, but at the same time, like, don't. Because just like you feel like your girlfriend was woken up by somebody laughing at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was just woken up by you banging on my door like you the police. Maybe that wasn't an appropriate time for me. I've been smelling the scent of marijuana smoke in my house for 6 months now, but I haven't stepped to you and complained about it because what you do in your apartment is what you do in your apartment. Like, I cannot control that, and I'm not trying to. The girl last night, she had a little get together. You know, it was a little annoying, but at the end of the day, I realized that that's what happens when you live places. You know, so I'm thinking like maybe this is his first apartment or whatever, but you got me bent at 6:30 in the morning. Like, bye. While I'm talking to him, I look over and realize that my car is gone. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, the whole parking lot is cleared out. So apparently the dudes that's working on the road, I guess if you didn't answer the door to come move your car, they like towed it to the other side of the parking lot. But I was just like, bruh, so I had to go out and try to find my car. Like, how y'all just moving people's whole vehicle? They ain't leave no notices saying, oh, we're working on the roads this day, we're working on the parking lot this day, XYZ. Like, the apartment complex didn't do none of that. Y'all just moving people's cars. Like, had I not been having that conversation and seeing my car out there the first time that somebody knocked on my door and then not seeing it the second time, like, I would have thought that, like, my car had been towed or something, which it had been. But, you know, like, I would have thought somebody, like, stole my car. This morning has just been an interesting morning, to say the least.